You just died. Your heart stopped. The machine you trusted betrayed you. But then you woke up. Only something's wrong. The world feels familiar, yet no one remembers you. Your name means nothing. So, what just happened? Did you cheat death? Or did death simply move you somewhere else? If you die while time traveling, do you vanish from every timeline? Or do you keep existing in another one? Or worse, does the universe erase every trace of you as if you never lived? Imagine you travel back to see your mother one last time. You just want to hold her hand, to hear her call you by name. But before you can, something happens. You die in the past, and suddenly she doesn't remember you. She never did. Every photo, every letter, every memory of you, gone. Would you still go? Would you still take that risk, even if it meant erasing yourself from the very people you love most? This is why it matters. Death in time travel isn't just about you. It's about the ones who survive, or the ones who never even knew you existed. It's about love, loss, and a question no machine can answer. Is it better to be forgotten completely or remembered in pain? To understand what happens when you die in time travel, we have to talk about the three biggest theories of time itself, each one with its own terrifying answer to the question of death. First, the grandfather paradox. It says, if you go back and do something that stops your own existence, like dying before your birth, then your life becomes an impossible loop. You were never born, so you couldn't travel back. So you wouldn't have died in the first place. The logic breaks, and the universe has no tolerance for broken logic. Some scientists think the paradox would rip reality apart in that moment. Others believe the timeline would simply correct itself, erasing the event, erasing you, as if you never stepped into the past at all. Then there's the multiverse theory. Imagine your life as one tab open in the universe's browser. You can close that tab. You can die in one timeline, but other tabs stay open. Another version of you is still alive somewhere else. In this case, your death wouldn't end you. It would just mean that the you in this specific timeline is gone, while others keep breathing, loving, and living completely unaware that one of their versions has already met their end. And then, the fixed timeline theory. In this view, the past can't be changed. Your death, wherever and whenever it happens, was always part of history. If you travel to the past and die there, it's because that's exactly where you were meant to die. You didn't break the timeline. You fulfilled it. It's the cruelest comfort. The idea that every moment of our lives, even the end, was written long before we took our first breath. Think of it this way. Time travel death might be like closing a file, but somewhere, on some cosmic backup, a copy of you still exists. The question is, would you ever know? Or would that other you live on, blissfully unaware that another version of them has already been erased?
Some physicists call it the eternal death loop.
If the laws of time force you back to the moment before your death, you could be trapped, forever reliving your final seconds. You'd never grow old. You'd never escape. You'd just die, again and again, until your mind is shredded by the repetition. It's not immortality. It's the worst kind of prison. Then there's complete erasure. The universe edits you out like a deleted file. Your body is gone, your memory's gone, and even the memories of others. Gone. It's as if the love you gave, the moments you lived, the lives you touched, never happened. You didn't die, you were unwritten. And then, there's split reality. In one world, you're gone. In another, you're still alive, living a life you never knew you'd get. But here's the cruel twist. Those versions of you will never meet. They'll never share memories. You'll never get to tell the other you about the danger they escaped or the love they left behind. Imagine this. You're killed in 1845, only to wake up in 1844, doomed to relive your final year forever. Every smile you see, every friendship you form, all shadowed by the knowledge that you're counting down to the same death. Some say fate would feel like a noose tightening a little more with each passing day. These are the possibilities, not theories on paper, but nightmares waiting for any traveler who dares step outside the safe walls of their own time. Because the truth is, time doesn't owe you a gentle ending. He wasn't a scientist. He wasn't even an engineer, just a father, desperate to save his daughter. Her illness had no cure in their time, but maybe in the future there would be a chance. Maybe he could bring her the medicine before it was too late. He told her he'd be back in moments. He didn't tell her the truth, that he might never return. And then he found it, a small vial, a promise of life in his hands. He died there, in the future, never reaching the moment he promised, but time had other plans. In her new reality, he never existed. There were no bedtime stories, no piggyback rides, no warm voice telling her she'd be safe. Just a quiet space in her life that nothing could fill. And yet, somewhere else, in another thread of time, maybe she grew up with him. Maybe they laughed together. Maybe she never got sick at all. But they will never meet. This is the cruel beauty of time travel. It can give you the chance to save everything and still take everything away. For centuries, storytellers have warned us, time doesn't care. It doesn't grieve. It doesn't mourn. Your life, and even your death, might be nothing more than ink on a page in a book too large for anyone to read. If you die while time traveling, perhaps nothing changes at all. Perhaps your death is just another point in the infinite map of history, something that was always going to happen. You were meant to be there. You were meant to end there. Or maybe your death is the crack in the glass, the moment that fractures the world into something new. If your existence was a keystone, if even the smallest part of history hinged on you, your death could erase civilizations or create entirely new ones. Somewhere out there, an empire might be rising because you no longer lived to stop it. Somewhere else, a tragedy might never happen because you weren't there to cause it. And maybe, just maybe, death in time travel isn't the end. Maybe it's the beginning of an entirely different universe, one where the rules are nothing like the ones you knew. But here's the terrifying truth. You'd never know which reality you landed in, or if the you standing there was even the original. If you could step into a time machine right now, knowing that you might die, and that your death might erase you from every memory, every photograph, every single heart that ever loved you, would you still go? Most of us like to believe we matter, that our lives are threads woven into the fabric of history. But in time travel, there's no guarantee those threads won't be cut without warning. You could save a life and lose your own in the process. You could change a moment, only to discover you were never there to begin with. Maybe the cruelest truth is this. Time travel doesn't just risk your body, it risks your story. The people you love might live on, but without the chapters where you were part of their lives. Some will tell you that the multiverse offers hope, that another you will keep on living somewhere else. But think about that for a moment. That other you is not you. They won't remember this moment, this choice, this love. And you'll be gone. Others will tell you that a fixed timeline means you can't change anything. That death, wherever and whenever it comes, is simply your place in the story. In some ways, that's comforting, a reminder that you can't ruin the script. But it also means that no matter how far you travel, no matter how hard you fight, The ending is already written. And then there's the possibility no one wants to face. Complete erasure. One moment you're here, breathing, laughing, holding the people you love, and the next, it's as if you never were. No one cries at your grave. No one keeps your letters. No one remembers your voice. Not because they've moved on, but because they never knew you existed. Some might call that oblivion. Others might call it freedom. Because here's the truth. Maybe what happens when you die in time travel isn't the point at all. Maybe the point is what you choose to do before that moment comes. In one timeline, you save the world. In another, you save one person. In another, you save no one. But you live a life worth remembering. And somewhere, in some corner of the infinite, maybe, just maybe, you find a place where you were always meant to be. So, if you ever find yourself standing at the door of a time machine, your hand on the handle, your heart pounding, remember this: it's not the years you have, it's not the worlds you've seen, it's the people who knew you, the moments you lived, the love you gave, and even if time erases every trace of you, those moments are still yours. The real question isn't what happens if you die while time traveling. It's whether, before that moment comes, you were ever truly alive. You've been told your whole life that death is final, but time travel bends reality. What if dying in the past doesn't mean you're gone in the future? Or worse, what if it means you're everywhere at once? The final twist: death is not the end, it's multiplication. When you die in your own timeline, everything is simple. One body, one moment, one ending. But in time travel, there may be multiple versions of you, scattered across centuries. If one dies, the others don't just disappear. They feel it. A ripple, an echo. Imagine existing in 5 different years at once, and suddenly one of you dies. The others feel an impossible grief, the sensation of losing yourself without knowing why. Death doesn't just happen, it spreads across time like a shockwave. The emotional core, love caught between centuries. Now imagine this: you travel back to the 1800s and fall in love. Not a fling, but the love of your life. But you know, in your original timeline, that person has been dead for hundreds of years. If you die in that time, you're buried in their century, in their world. But in your own time, your family will never know what happened. No body, no goodbye, just gone. To them, you vanished. To you, you stayed and loved and died in the wrong century. The fear, becoming a ghost in your own life. Some physicists suggest the many worlds theory, where every choice splits reality. So if you die in the past, maybe another version of you survives, but in a branch of reality where your family never even knew you. You'd be erased from their memories as if you never existed. This is worse than death. This is being unwritten. The ultimate twist: time travel makes death infinite. If time is a loop, death might not end you. It might trap you. You could die, but your past self hasn't reached that point yet. So somewhere in another year, you're still walking, breathing, unaware that your end has already happened. It means you could attend your own funeral and not realize it's yours. Would you try to stop it, or would you accept that the moment has already been written? The final blow: love after death. One last question. If you die in the past, can someone from that time travel forward to see you again? Or is the love you shared forever trapped in a century that doesn't belong to you? Maybe the saddest truth is not that death ends life, but that time travel gives you a million ways to lose the people you love. In time travel, death isn't just an ending. It's a fracture in reality and in the heart. And sometimes, the most terrifying part is not dying. It's knowing that somewhere, in another century, Another version of you is still alive and can never come home.